Cool. Hello, Will and Dave from Black Pete's. How you doing?
Hi, Will.
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Hi, good. Yeah, very good.
So we're at Macmillan Fest at the moment, aren't we? In Nottingham.
Yeah.
And you're headlining. You've got the headline slot. How does that feel? I mean, we were talking about it kind of briefly just off camera. What's that like?
We haven't played yet, but hopefully
it feels amazing.
Hopefully it's going to be really cool.
Anytime we get to play with or after some of our favourite bands and loads of friends and bands and things like that, it's always a really good thing, and it's a really nice lineup today.
Yeah.
Lots of good bands, so yeah, it's a good vibe.
And it's just a brief thing I wanted to chat about. You played Reading and Leeds last weekend. How was that? Was that cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like it's a legendary festival, and so it's always good to go and play those things. It's a different vibe to some other festivals in a lot of ways because there's a lot of other things there, and it's a very well attended festival for people within press and things like that.
And
so
young people as well.
People, so
lots of really, really young people.
You get to
which is really awesome.
You get a different audience than what we might normally do in other festivals or other gigs. So
yeah,
it's good.
Especially outside of the kind of heavy scene and heavy circle. There's a lot of people that go to Reading to see all kinds of music and Leeds, obviously. But it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. We were really worried because the pit can be quiet, and it was quite quiet most of the day, and when we came on it was packed.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
We were so chuffed. We were so chuffed.
For sure. It's a really difficult thing when you've got a festival like that where there's a lot of big acts, and playing later on in the day is usually a great thing for a band, but it also means you're clashing with bigger and bigger acts, so we never really know how the pull is going to go, and if people are going to come and want to see us or Panic at the Disco or whatever. But yeah, it's really nice to see people turn up.
And I'd be interested to ask your opinion, obviously because you are quite a notable band, you're headlining a festival like this. What your opinion is on there's been a lot of debate on Reading and Leeds and their kind of shift in musical genre. I guess it was always quite a rocky festival, or quite a guitar band festival, and that's clearly changed a little bit recently, with the likes of kind of Post Malone, Dua Lipa played and things like that. What's your opinion on that?
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing in any way at all. I think if you want to just go to a guitar band festival, you can go to Download, or you can go to Bloodstock, or you can go to 2000 Trees. There's loads of festivals in the UK which are cater towards that. It happens to be that the industry has kind of shifted a little bit towards guitar bands are not in the top 20, the top 30 all the time at the moment, but that's not necessarily.
It's more eclectic. I think there's other stuff, and Reading, it's really cool for how eclectic it is now. The lineups are a bit of a mash. I think, it's a funny one. It's difficult. We were honestly doing press for most of the whole festival, so we didn't really get to even see any music. So I don't think I have an opinion now that would be valid of how it was programmed or anything in terms of that. But I think it's definitely cool that there's some huge rap artists that are now headlining,
for sure.
and stuff like that. It shows a bit more of a shift of how a lot of stuff is worldwide, and loads of people came out to see Kendrick, and
and I think for us it's not necessarily, there's no battle between if your band or you plays a guitar, or if you're an amazing MC, or if you're an incredible producer. As long as it's quality is really good, and you mean it, and you're passionate behind it, and it's not sort of contrived or invented by a label, then all more power to it, and it doesn't necessarily matter what genre it's from, as long as it's good.
We'll get onto the new material soon, but you've had a big summer. I was kind of flicking through bits that you've been doing and watching bits in various different places, and you did a session at Maida Vale for BBC Radio, didn't you?
Last week.
It's flown by, hasn't it?
So
we've had a busy
insane.
couple of weeks, but that was amazing. There's nothing quite like the stresses of being told you're We're going to be live on national radio in 3, 2, 1. But yeah, it was cool. And
it's funny though, because it was the lead up to this one was quite stressful, but mainly because we've got so much else going on at the moment. Like there's a lot going on behind the scenes for us at the moment. So, but like all the lead up to it, and then getting into the studio and like being in Maida Vale, setting up, we were still a bit like, oh, and then as soon as like we kind of went on air, it's and you're playing, it's like the most fun thing ever.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're sat there like, you know, your head down and you're like, gotta get this right. But then as soon as you get into it, you just well, this is just like any other gig. You know, it's not like
happens to be however many thousand people listening. Like,
but I mean, in the same way that you don't, excuse the expression, you don't half-ass anything. You do, you know, you don't go into it and go like, oh, I'm not really going to bother today. Like we always go into it and give it everything that we can. So yeah.
So let's talk about the new stuff you've dropped already and the new album. It's out next month, isn't it? The new album, and you've dropped little bits and bobs here and there. You've dropped a single. Is it just the one single you've dropped?
3 singles.
I was gonna say what's it all like? Is it all kind of a progression? Would you say? Let's start with that. Is it progressive from previous Black Peak stuff? Is it, you know?
It's not the same, so by that definition it is a progression, I guess, but like it's it follows a lot of the same formula, but it just kind of goes a little bit deeper in certain areas. Some of the songs are
exactly.
Some of the songs are a bit longer, some of the songs have got different,
a bit shorter.
We've kind of experimented with different things like orchestral arrangements and some additional parts of like vocal harmonies and things like that. So like it's more of the stuff that we really enjoyed about the first album. So,
That's just well spent.
Sorry about that. I was just turning someone off.
And what's the reception been like for the singles so far?
Very good. Very good. Very good. I think like it's been weird this time because we were so unknown with the first album. When those singles came out, it was like there was such a mixed reception, whereas now we already have a bit of an established fan base, and I think I just hope that new people are coming on board. From Reading, I think it definitely felt like from being at Reading Festival that there were like lots of new people coming on board, but it's tricky. I think it's been really, really, really good. Especially like Can't Sleep in Home. I think Electric Fires could get out to more people, and I think it'd be interesting to see how they hear about it, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I listened to Electric Fires pretty much right before we came in, for probably like the 4th time or something in preparation for this. I'm a fan. I really do like it. What is it about? Because it's obvious the kind of progressive thing of it is that it's quite kind of classically screamo-y and loud at parts, and then it becomes quite melodic, which I know is not a necessarily new thing. What is it about that appeals to you, as opposed to being kind of just maybe a math rock band or a heavy band? What is
just what comes out when we write together in a room?
Just natural. That's
it's just
really
as
what it is.
simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, like
we're never thinking about we should write songs like this or that. It's just the guys come in with bits. Dave will have a riff, or Joe will have some riffs, and then it's just what kind of comes together. We all know when that fun thing that's like, this sounds really fun. Oh, this bit's really fun. Like, we're digging that. Like those bits when we're writing, we kind of, that's what makes us excited. And then we record it in a studio and then go, I hope other people like it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Really.
It's got to be done that way. It's got to be done about, again, it's just whatever you are passionate about and whatever you think sounds good. There's like to go into it and say, I mean, we don't like exclusively listen to heavy bands or the bands that you like who are just one thing. We've got varied tastes, and so it's kind of boring just to do one thing. Like this is what we do and what we do every day. So it's you don't want to just be narrowed down to. You might want one song that's short and snappy and is like just pure aggression, but like we're not purely aggressive people. We're quite chilled most of the time. So like you you cross all the boxes as you're going through. You know?
Yeah. And you're going on tour. You're going on tour in October. Talk a little bit about that. Talk about where you're going. Are there any kind of venues on there that are new to you and that you've wanted to play for a while, or anything like that you kind of thought, oh yeah, that's ace, kind of when you saw the dates?
We're definitely going to a few different places in Europe and stuff.
Yeah, be cool to go to Amsterdam, which should be fun. We played there quite a few times. I think Ireland we're really looking forward to going back over to. That should be really fun. And like a lot of these big cities we haven't been back to for quite a long time. It's been about a year or so since we've been to kind of Manchester and obviously London. We're going to be playing the Underworld for the first time.
Amazing.
That's sold out, so that's going to be sick. Yeah, pretty ridiculous to be honest. We start in Ireland and we do Ireland, Dublin, and then we do Belfast, Dublin. And then we come to the mainland, we do a whole bunch of stuff up north, go up to Glasgow, Tuts, again, will hopefully be absolutely sick.
Yeah.
And then we're going over and doing Paris, actually, I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because we just did Paris with the Perfect Circle.
Yeah, which was an amazing show.
It was an amazing show.
Yeah.
So hopefully lots of people that were at that Perfect Circle show will know about our Paris gig. So
Amazing.
And then all over.
Yeah. And it's probably definitely too early to ask this question, but what about afterwards? Is there more plans? I mean, you know, I guess by the time you'll have finished touring, you'll kind of maybe be thinking of new stuff, or is that kind of not? Is it not an agenda thing?
I mean, there's never far from our minds collectively, because we're always writing. You know, like the minute you stop having ideas creatively, you might as well just not be in a band anymore, because you know that's what gets us excited. So yeah, we're always writing, we've always got ideas, and we'd love to start like properly whittling away at them before the year's out and start sneaking in some new ones next year and record another album and keep doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. And one final question that I asked to all the musical acts that I interview, and we'll do this individually. One musician or you know, multi-instrumentalist or vocalist or anything musical that is kind of the one for you, the one and only kind of, if you had to put one on a pedestal and name one, who would it be?
You go first.
All right. Mine's relatively easy because it always comes to my mind that it would be the John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, because he is an incredible arranger as well as a keys player and primarily a bassist. So he's someone that I've always looked up to, in the sense that he's got a very unique way of approaching his instrument, and has a knack of really kind of getting to grips with how another member of the band works, and kind of going, why don't you try this, and you know, arranging a song to their strengths, which is an amazing talent. So that would be my guy.
Good answer, I like that.
I would have Miles Davis, which is a bit of a weird one now, but I think he kind of reinvented music like 4 times in within a small, you know, he, and also like by working ridiculously hard and being obsessively diligent about his musical styles, was like, it just inspired so much music and changed the world like massively, like forever. And I think you can never go back from the music that he made, and I think he's rhythmically and harmonically a massive inspiration for me still. Like I think a lot of his music is very deeply embedded in my subconscious and my, like, the way that I approach things is always with a lot of his kind of teachings and his mindset in mind. So
nice.
That's
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much. Good luck tonight, and good luck when you go on tour and with the album and everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much, guys.